military, we are rising and reaching out to nations. We are a global, educative, evangelic ministry, delivering and restoring people back to God. Our mission is to educate the nation on things pertaining to the kingdom of God. My name is Pastor Neka Ibeto, and here with me in the studio is Councillor Ann Mbachu from Water Forest Council. Ma, you have been as a councillor for quite some time now, and please, I would like you to tell the people out there how you have used a position to impact in their daily lives.
Thank you very much, Neka. As an elected councillor, I was first elected into the council in 2006. The reason why I went into politics was actually to have a voice. I saw that a lot of services that has been delivered, in some places I felt that services are not delivered to the standard that is expected. For example, I live in an area where there is a football stadium around it. And sometimes the football takes place during the week. And it takes about 2 or 3 days in those days for the street to be swept. We know what comes with football. After the games, there's a lot of litters about. And my first question, initial concern was, why leave this litter for a couple of days before the road sweepers, come around to sweep them? And I was told that, the quota for our road the road is swept at a specific days of the week. But unfortunately, the football, if it falls on the day when the road is being swept in the morning, it has to wait for the next time around, which is about 2 or 3 days later. And then my question was, who makes that decision? Because that decision, whoever that takes that step or that makes that decision should be able to look into the needs of that area, of the road, and factor in the fact that football stadium is within the area, and the fact that football games takes place. And with it comes a lot of litter. And I was told that it was the elected members, the councillors. And from there, I asked, how do you become a voice? Because I would like to explain to them, I would like to have an input into how those services are delivered, especially to the road where I live, because most of my neighbors, we all fell into the same dilemma. One thing led to the other, and here I am in politics. I joined, and from there, I brought in my voice, ensured that we have a lot of Nigerian communities in Waltham Forest. I spoke to them and said, if you guys want your needs, because they were asking that their needs should be incorporated in the services that the council delivers. If you guys want that to be the case, you guys have to have a united voice. In 2006, they launched the Association of Nigerians in Waltham Forest. And I can tell you, Neka, that in Waltham Forest is the only borough in the whole of the United Kingdom that have that association running. We're trying to kind of copy that same theme and formulate one in Enfield. So those are kind of little things I've been doing in the community, and also helping the ethnic and minority and women in particular, enabling them to have a voice. Of places. Every man shall give as he deserveth, according to their blessing. Please, some people out there would like to be a councillor.
Can you please advise them on how they can be a councillor?
Thank you very much. Becoming a councillor, for one to become a councillor, the first step to take is actually to look at the parties across the spectrum, see which one of them the manifesto best suits them, their needs, and you join. But I will sort of focus on the Labour Party because that's the one I'm a member and I'm a councillor for, and that's the one I know our selection process. For Labour Party, you have to be a member for 2 years minimum. When you join, you have to attend your ward meetings. You have to take part in activities that is happening. I think 2 years or 18 months before election, you show your intention. You complete a CV, which is sent off. They shortlist it, and if you're shortlisted, you'll be put on a panel list. And that panel list is sent from region back to the local level, local authority where the individual is. At that local level, you will identify which ward you want to go into. Like in Waltham Forest, we have about 20 wards, and in each ward you have to have 3 councillors, so we have about 60 councillors in total. So when you identify those wards, your application that has been shortlisted from region and put on panel list will now be distributed and given to the ward that you have identified. So the chair of that ward, the officers in that ward will now convey a meeting, what we call it is interview meeting or shortlisting meeting. They will now look at the application they have received and shortlist them based on that and invite the candidates for an interview. At that interview, you have to do a presentation and you have to answer questions from all the members of Labour Party that lives in that ward. It could range from 50 to 300, depending on how active the community is, in terms of politics. So you will answer questions. There will be set questions that will be asked to all the candidates. After that, then at the end of the evening, they will announce, the ward members will select 3 out of whatever number of candidates that were interviewed, and they will announce who their chosen candidate will be. And those are the candidates that will now stand for that party, for that ward. And I've always said that, selection and election start at that level. It's not, a lot of people believe that it's at the time when you go to the poll, but actually it's at the time when you choose who your candidate will be. That's when the selection starts. So my advice would be that you go out, you look at all the political parties across the spectrum, look at their manifestos, join, and for Labour, what I've just explained is applicable to only the Labour Party.
Ma, the problems of knife, guns, unemployment in our society is growing every day. Please, can you tell us what the government have been doing or is doing to make sure that this problem is being dealt with in our society?
Thank you very much. I know in the last few years there has been a high number of guns and knife crime in the society. In Waltham Forest, we have a system put in place whereby we're looking at minimizing or eradicating the issues and the problem. As a domestic violence lead member in the last administration, I've always, it has been an eye-opener in the sense that things that we overlook is actually it's actually in some cases or most cases where the problem starts from. Domestic violence is, is a home. Don't get me wrong, domestic violence is not just a woman facing an abuse, because a lot of people have that notion and perception. It could be a woman or it could be a man. But when you look at it from that perspective, it affects everybody. It affects the children. It affects the whole structure and system. And then it leads on to underachievement, because children that are within a home where there is a high level of abuse going on, however it is, whether the male is the perpetrator or the female is the perpetrator, it has a knock-on effect on the children, and thereby their ability to achieve in school, is impacted on. It leads on to, when there's an underachievement, it leads on to the children coming out of school without any qualification, and then unemployment. And often at times, children who witness abuse, who sees it at that level and continuously, over the years, end up exhibiting it. And because they don't get that support at home, you find out that they find that support within their peers. and they want to have a voice. They want to be known. They want protection. And what then happens is one thing leads to the other. You find out that the gang is formed. I'm not saying that every gang member comes from a domestic abused homes, but high number of it comes, is a knock-on effect of what's happening there, underachievement in school, unemployment, and so on, that leads on in later life. Excuse me. What we are doing in the borough to curb that is we are investing in more police people in the borough, and we are working with families who are at risk of such by giving them support, identifying them at early stage, and we're working with schools as well in that areas, because schools will be the key points that will identify children who are underachieving, who will identify children who have behavioral problem, and who can then identify the support that will be put in place for them. So those are the kind of things that at a local level we are putting in place to ensure that we capture those and give them a holistic support that will ensure that we nip the bud at the beginning before it gets into something bigger and will lead into what we are seeing in our streets as of today. Of places. Every man shall give as he deserveth, according to their Thank you, ma'am, for that explanation. Please, ma'am, I have this question I want to ask you. Do you have a religion? Yes, I do. I'm a Christian. Do you take any active part in your local church? Time has not, I don't have that luxury of time, in the sense that every Sunday I worship in different places. Not because it's what I want, but because by virtue of my office, I'm invited to different churches, and I honor that. And sometimes too, my Muslim brothers do invite me to their events, which I do, attend, and my Jewish brothers as well. So when you're in this position, you reach out to everyone. You don't just confine yourself in your own space, because that's what you're there for. You are on that platform as a people's person. Thank you very much for that answer. The next question I have to ask you today is, what advice can you give different religions out there, the input they can put into dealing with this problem of crime, guns, unemployment in our society today? Thank you very much. First and foremost is tolerance, respect, understand what the other person is. When I say tolerance, you have to tolerate others as you would like them to tolerate you. You have to respect others as you would like them to respect you. You have to reach out and understand from others' perspective, from others' person's opinion. So that way, whatever you're doing, you have an informed choice. You have an understanding of what it is. And this society is, we have to learn to cohabit, community cohesion. In churches, we should be able to preach that. We should respect other people's religion. We should respect other people's culture. We should respect other people's ethnicity. The same way we would like them to respect ours. My motto in life, which I've learned from my mother, is treat others the way you like to be treated. If our religious leaders can preach that across the board, because they are in a very powerful position, because in the sense that the congregation listens to them, respects them, sees them as role model. So they have that power and ability to influence them, and they should use that wisely by preaching love, peace, tolerance, community cohesion, understanding, and patience across the board.
You are a Christian. Do you believe in giving and supporting ministries?
Yes, I believe in giving. I believe in charity. I support quite a number of them. I believe in supporting the church, because the church is an institution that depend on the donation of its members. So yes, I do give, and I encourage people to do that as well, because when you go to church, you look at the overhead, look at the heating, the lighting, the seats, a lot of things that comes into play that makes it very comfortable for us to come there and worship. All those things, has a cost attached to it. So I'm highly in favor of that.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's a privilege having you in our studio. Please, how can you help to support us to propagate this gospel of Jesus Christ to the nation?
Thank you very much. As an elected person, you propagate all religion. You don't favor one against the other. And my position as a councillor, that's what I do. What I always say to people is, the times when you say religion and politics does not mix, is past. Because whatever services we're providing, whatever we're doing for the residents, we want to be able to meet their needs. And that includes all the churches, both Jewish community, the Islamic community, the Hindu community. We want to be able to provide services that is tailored to their need. We want an avenue where they can have a voice, they can have an input in what we're doing for them. So I reach out to them, and that's why any invitation that comes my way from whichever denomination, I honor it and I attend. And if there's anything they want to ask, I give them an answer. I hold a surgery once every month, but it's usually three Saturdays in a month, where the door is open for anyone to come in and discuss their needs with us. Of places. Every man shall give as he deserveth, according to their beliefs.
Ma, as a councillor, please, is there anything else you want to tell us?
That we haven't covered. The only thing I would say to the audience is, if you look at me, if I can do it, you can do it. For people who say they don't vote or they don't believe in politics, this is not the time anymore, because politics determines a lot of things that we do. You go to hospitals, the menu you're served, the services you receive, even the house you live in, the tax, your place of work, everywhere you look, your children's education, everything about living, about life. 90% of it is decided by politicians. So the time when one says, I'm not a politician, I'm not going to vote, it's gone, it's in the past. And if you're one of those people that say, I don't vote, I'm afraid the only thing I have to say to you is that what you're saying indirectly is, I cannot make a decision for myself. In other words, I will leave that decision to be made by others. By not voting, that's literally what you're saying. So get out there, take part in your community, look at what's happening, what you don't like, be a voice, be part of it, change things that you're not happy with, but not doing anything shouldn't be an option. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Ma, thank you very much for joining us in our studio today. And I know that people have been educated in the things pertaining to politics and also religion. And I know that out there, people will be asking questions. And I know that questions have been answered today. People out there, and I know some people have some questions to ask. If you have any question to ask the councillor, please email us at info@voiceofvictoryministry.org, or you can tweet us, you can go to our Facebook page and reach us. Or you can call us on the phone. We are on 24/7. We will answer your call. We are here every Sunday, Sky Channel 591, Faith TV. This is Our Victory, and my name is Pastor Neka Ibeto. See you next time. Shalom. Thank you for joining us today. We are here every Sunday at Faith TV. Sky is going to join us. I shall be blessed. God
To a variety of places.
Every man shall give as he deserveth, according to the